To manage the fallout from regional conflicts and secure new alliances, Tehran has launched a diplomatic sprint across the globe. In Oman, Iranian envoys are negotiating shared tolls for territorial waters. In Moscow and Beijing, they seek military hardware and satellite intelligence to break their growing isolation. But follow the itinerary of Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, and a specific pattern emerges. He has visited regional neighbors and global superpowers, yet he has completely bypassed New Delhi. India shares deep historical ties with Iran and holds significant economic leverage across the Middle East. By traditional diplomatic standards, New Delhi would be a primary stop for any nation seeking mediation. Instead, India is maintaining its distance. This choice has created a void at the negotiating table, leaving room for a different neighbor to step in. While India stays on the sidelines, Pakistan is positioning itself as a central mediator. Islamabad is currently acting as a bridge between Tehran and the incoming administration in Washington, actively exchanging drafts and requests to broker a settlement. This diplomatic push comes even as Pakistan faces its own internal crises. Security concerns have grown so severe that foreign consulates in cities like Peshawar are being relocated. It raises a question of strategy. Why is Islamabad so eager to play the peacemaker, while India is working just as hard to avoid the role? For Islamabad, the motivations are practical. Successfully brokering a deal earns them favor with the U.S. and potential access to Iranian energy, critical lifelines for an economy under extreme pressure. But Pakistan's involvement also aligns with the way power is actually distributed in Tehran. While foreign ministers handle the public meetings, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps drives the core of Iranian policy. The IRGC operates through military back channels rather than traditional embassies. They prioritize building proxy networks to project power, often working outside of the bounds of standard state diplomacy. During the conflict in Afghanistan, IRGC commanders were known to bypass their own ambassadors entirely, delivering direct messages from the supreme leader to foreign military attachés through off-the-books meetings. This unconventional system suits the current Pakistani leadership. Army Chief Asim Munir, with his background in military intelligence, is accustomed to the same style of high-level, military-to-military communication. Pakistan is effectively using its own internal power structure to speak the specific back-channel language that the IRGC prefers. India's choice to stay away is rooted in a different reality. Its refusal to mediate is a specific economic calculation. India is currently focused on the economic corridor connecting its ports to Europe. This route moves through the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. This corridor bypasses Iran, directing trade through Tehran's regional rivals. This shift reduces the leverage Iran once held over global transit routes. India's growth depends on regional stability and the protection of international shipping lanes. This puts New Delhi at odds with Tehran's tactics in the Strait of Hormuz, where threats to maritime traffic are common. Furthermore, India relies on formal, institutional statecraft. While Pakistan leans into military backchannels, New Delhi conducts its diplomacy through official government ministries and international forums. Because India's economic future is so closely tied to the stability of Iran's rivals, appearing as a neutral mediator has become a structural impossibility. There is also a long-standing policy at play. India has historically avoided offering third-party mediation in foreign conflicts. This dates back to India's leadership in the non-aligned movement and its preference for established bodies like the United Nations to handle global arbitration. There is a domestic risk to consider as well. If New Delhi intervenes in the borders and conflicts of other nations, it creates a precedent for foreign powers to demand a role in mediating India's own territorial disputes. For India, acting as a global peacemaker in the Middle East is a geopolitical trap that could eventually compromise its own sovereignty. Pakistan is managing a short-term survival game, using its history of brokering deals to stay relevant and secure immediate economic aid. India is operating on a multi-decade timeline, prioritizing the protection of trade corridors and its own long-term policy of non-interference. In a region where many nations are rushing to the microphone, India has concluded that its interests are best served by remaining exactly where it is.